Hey, Carlie. It's been a minute.
It has. It has. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I've been enjoying LA lately a lot more, as you know, because I've been dragging you to stuff. Actually, you dragged me to the last one. But it's all good because it's more fun going to different places around your own city. Because my friends here always, when they see me, like, oh, how long are you here? Try to make fun of me because I'm always traveling all the time. And so it's been kind of cool to explore different areas of the city I live in. Like I used to when I first moved here. I used to go to different places and check out different stuff. So it's been kind of fun. So, I've been enjoying Southern LA and Inglewood and dancing with my elbows out.
That's the thing. My elbows are not that great out there, so I gotta work on that.
I mean, I'm just bumping into everybody, but whatever.
I think you kind of got to if your elbows are.
You kind of have to just take control. This is my dance floor now. That's what that is.
But I think in any city, if you know people who are from there, like it's better. Like the most fun I've had in LA, the best parts of LA are from people who are from here, and that's like what we've been doing.
That's true.
So it's cool.
That's true because LA gets a bad rep too because everybody's always like they're so fake in LA and nobody's authentic, and I'm like, it's who you surround yourself with. Like there's people out here, just talk to people who actually are from here.
Exactly. Then that's actually why I didn't like LA when I first moved out here. Because, like USC has a very USC-centric view of LA, which is not LA. It's Santa Monica, Malibu, downtown, but everybody's just drinking. And I'm like
entitled college style.
University of Spoiled Children is a thing. In grad school, less of us are spoiled.
I never heard that before.
It's a thing, especially for undergrad. But grad school, we're not as spoiled. A lot of us are working our way through school, and they're on scholarship and working really hard, savings to go. Or taking out loans. Good God.
I know.
Loans. But anyways, once I stayed here for my internship during the summer between the first and second year, met my friend Charlie, who's from here, and got to see, the real LA.
I have a taco tattooed on my finger now. Shout out Mexicali. Shout out Lala.
Yeah, man. Shout out Lala, Mexicali.
Shout out Kiki. Making those spicy margaritas in the kitchen.
Kiki was trying to take us out.
She tried, but we prevailed.
We here.
We still standing.
We still here. And she has a taco tattoo.
Come harder next time.
What's your other tattoo?
I got another tattoo that's the symbol from Naruto because he's from the Hidden Leaf Village. So it's their their clan symbol. Shout out all my anime fans. If you real, then you understand.
Yeah.
If not, like Carlie.
I'm going to say I ain't real. Apparently, because she showed me that. I was like, oh, that's cute. What is it?
Right. As long as you think it's cute still. But yeah. I would have got the taco on my ring finger because it's really all I love in life. But I was like, nah, let me not be that extra. Let me put it on the other hand. So
yeah. I mean, you got to save space.
Yeah. Save space. I ain't saving space for nothing. Which brings us to our topic, kind of. I don't care if my ring finger is open or not, but today we're going to talk about dating. Ooh.
What does that even mean? Like dating?
Are you asking me or are you asking?
Well, that was the title. Dating.
That's not the title. That's 100%. I'm probably going to change that. But
she's such a hater. Yeah, she be hating.
Dating. Actually, that might be the subtitle. I'll give you that. That could be the subtitle.
It is. Dating.
But you're right, though. Like, I guess that's the first thing we have to define. Like, what is dating? Because now I feel like we live in a time where we use different terms. We talk about, oh, I'm talking to this person. I'm going out with this person. I'm dating this person. I don't know, whatever else you say, in a relationship with a person. So we may have two different aspects of what that means. So what does dating mean to you?
I think it's different for every person. But
what does dating mean to you?
You turning up so early.
I'm sorry, because I was real low energy earlier, and then Carlie made this coffee, so now I'm ready to turn.
Okay, so we turning. For me, dating is talking to someone with the purpose of being in a relationship, like getting to know them. Okay, so you're going to ask and then make all those faces. But if you're dating someone, you're interested in them. For me, I don't date people unless I'm interested in them. Like they've been through the vetting process, and then
which is different than if you're saying like I'm only dating you if I think I can marry you. Like, are you saying that deep? I think we get into that later.
Yeah, we can.
You just mean like you like the person.
Yeah, it's like you like the person and y'all vibing and could be working on something. What about you? What is dating?
Dating is getting to know someone with the intent of them being more than just a friend, which actually, I don't know. It's somebody that I'm attracted to, somebody that for me, I like. It's starting to turn into your answer, I guess.
Oh.
I'm not sure what that intent is, though, but it's not. I used to think, like, if I don't think I can marry you, I don't want to date you. But it takes so long to really get to know people, like a really long time to really know them. So dating means I like you, I'm interested in you, I enjoy spending time with you, talking to you, where it can be physical, we could do all of these things. And it's more of maybe a complete somebody I could be like a complete person with versus maybe like with my friends. Like maybe you just know about some stuff. This person knows about some things over here. If somebody's just a casual sex person, like maybe they're just that. You just hit them up once a month or something like that. But somebody I'm dating is because I like them and I want to get to a place where we can do all of that.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot like my answer. And you was giving me that
I
face.
was hating. Damn,
life comes at you fast, bro.
I'm going to delete that.
Okay, so we talked about kind of what it is, and I'm sure we'll like get deeper into our definitions and how we think about dating and how we arrived here. Because I haven't always, I guess, thought like this. But like, how do you look for people to date? Like, do you even like actively search for people to date, or what does that look like?
Nah, I don't look for people to date, and I've never been boy crazy. I never had in high school, I had a boyfriend for 4 days and I didn't see him any of those days. And that was just me being like, all right, man. And then I avoided him for 4 days and I called him and was like, yeah, this ain't gonna work. So I don't think that counts. So I never really cared about guys like that and about dating or being in any relationship. I had my first one when I was like a junior in college. And even since then, I've had a couple of relationships, but I don't even want to confuse dating with relationships for me, because it's not that. For me, dating is when I'm interested in somebody, kind of getting to know them, that part. So maybe that, going back to my definition, more of the getting to know that person stage. So dating for me usually is when I've just run into somebody who is somewhere similar to me. We're working on something together, or, they're already been placed kind of in my circle, not anybody who ever walks up to me somewhere and like, hey girl, or in a club or out or wherever, I'm automatically kind of turned off to be like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
And that might not always be a good thing. But for me, if somebody just saw how I look and they just want to go out with me, I'm like, that's cool. But there's been times where I've seen that same person maybe a few times and then like, oh, okay, we actually kind of like have a conversation and now maybe it's a little different. But yeah, they just tend to be in my space.
For me, it's the same. It's really organic. Like I don't go out and search for people to date. That hasn't really been a thing. I used to be like I had a boyfriend when I was in college, and then I dated someone like after college, but I never like searched for people. It was like on this thing like, oh man, I just need this relationship, or I just need to like explore these people. Like that's fine, but that's just kind of not been my thing. But anybody I've ever dated has been real organic, like friends of friends, or in the same spaces, like you said, working on the same things. And I think that is like kind of a turnoff if all you think about me is like how I look and that's why you want to get to know me. Like that's real shallow. To be clear, there is like a baseline of attraction that I think
100%.
has to be there.
You have to be attracted to somebody.
You have to at least be attracted to somebody. So I'm not going to say that's shallow, because I would be lying if I said that people I dated weren't attracted to me.
But if we like tried to date or gave our number to every person who walked up to us, like, come on, dog. And maybe that's one thing I think people don't realize too, that sometimes as a woman, like you could be approached 20 times a day, and so it's almost just like a part of your life. Just be like, yeah.
I'm
like,
sure.
block it out.
I have guy friends that happens to too. And they're the same thing. They're like, it's just another thing.
But it's also when it's organic, I feel like it's more authentic because you have some kind of a base that you're building from, and having seen or, already know what you're interested in a little bit or whatever, people in common, whatever it is. I just feel like it gives you a little more of a base to start from.
Yeah. And it's good to be able to kind of vet people before you get to know them, because there's some crazy people out here.
Well, for me, though, some of the people I've dated or have gone out with, I met like on social media. Well, I don't know if met is the right word there, but in a way, I feel like online methods of talking to people before you decide let's meet somewhere or go out is kind of interesting because I can see what stuff they've been talking about. And of course, again, you know that's not all 100% all the time, but I feel like you can get a general idea about people as far as vetting a little bit. Like you could definitely tell somebody's trash, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
You can always tell if they're awesome, but you could definitely tell when people are super trash via online. So for me, I kind of like having, and that maybe that's almost like a starting point where you can go back and forth with tweets or with messaging or whatever. And then you almost build like this kind of friendship thing. And then it's like, all right, you want to go out somewhere or do something.
Yeah, I about to say I have too. Like met people that I
Who you talk to from online?
Oh, that's how we met.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh, you feeling some type of way? No, but that is a good way to vet people and to see like what they post. But it's a double-edged sword because the people who might look awesome on social media could very much so not be awesome in real life.
They be lame in real life too. They be so lame sometimes.
Like putting on a show for social media. You meet them, you like, you are lame as hell in real life. I feel like that happens with a lot of people in general. Like they put on this facade and work so hard to appear cool. And you meet them and you're like,
just be yourself, bro.
Yeah, just be yourself. People, somebody will love you for yourself. But how do you feel about online dating? Like, have you ever used apps? Would you ever use apps or websites?
What are the sites now? Like Match.com and stuff?
I think so. Christian Mingle.
Oh yeah, shout out Christian Mingle.
I saw like there's one for farmers.
Oh yeah, AKA racist people.
Not all farmers. Well,
There's what's the other one? Something fish pieces.
Plenty of fish.
Is that POF? Because I remember I remember one time with one of my exes, I had to make a fake account to cash them up because they was on there being extra. So I have an issue with that. But I don't think I've ever made a profile for an online dating thing. The most maybe Tinder back in the day before Tinder got like it didn't have all the same features it did now. There was actually somebody I dated like that I'm talked to on Tinder before, but not an actual profile where you put in all your information.
Yeah.
But from what I hear, there's a very high percent of people who have successful dating from that because again, you're putting out exactly this is what I'm looking for. This is kind of, who I am or who you say you are. And I mean, again, it's still something to have a basis from. Like if I already know what you don't like or like, then I mean, we got somewhere to start from.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Whenever I was in business school, I had a lot of classmates who used apps. So Bumble, Tinder,
Bumble.
Even though I've heard like mixed things about Tinder being either just a hookup app or on the other side, I actually have one of my friends, he uses Tinder to network. So he says network, but network whenever he goes to different places. And like meet people like, yo, where's a good spot to go eat? Where's the people hang out?
I have decent conversations on there sometimes.
Yeah.
It just gets annoying because, man, I sound arrogant. I was about to say it's too easy. It's too easy, bro. I'll be like, all right, match, cool. Or like if I travel a lot and I don't turn it off, then it'll be like, 50 people in New York. And I'm like, man, I'm not even there. Like, this is stupid. So I turn it off now. And I notice that only when I get bored, I'll turn it on. And I think of it as a game, like just seeing who I can match with. Sometimes I just swipe people I don't even think are cute just to see if they'll match with me. I matched with Tom from MySpace on Tinder.
Is it the real Tom?
Yeah, it was real because he was verified and everything.
Oh wow.
That's another one of my stories where I'm like, dang man, I lost because I should have.
You should have followed up. Living and Lex got the juice, so that's what I'm hearing. Is you got the juice now?
Yeah, but it's easy to have juice online, like
you're right.
But nobody. Nah, I was gonna say people don't talk to me out, but they do. But that's never how I've met anybody I really wanted to date. So, so you never had a profile on any of those?
I've never done any of those. Like I said, I met.
Seems like a lot of work, kind of.
Yeah, and I don't know.
It's also like you're looking too.
Especially it's the fear. I'm
just not usually in that looking stage.
The very like law of attraction thing, like believing that everything that's mine is gonna come to me if I'm in alignment and doing what I'm supposed to do. And so far, it has.
I'm with that, and I think plus with us, because we are like entrepreneurs and doing the most. It's like,
always,
bro, I gotta get myself together. Like I still feel like I always have so many things to focus on that. Dating as an intent thing is just not at the top of my list. I mean, and I used to be one of those, like, I want to get my whole self right and be a millionaire before I date and all that. And I'm like, no, like, that's stupid too. Because it would be nice to have somebody who identifies, and actually some people I do date they're always gonna have that same type of mindset too.
Yeah.
To where it makes sense that I can talk to them about those things, but it's just not, I don't know, I'm not that focused on it. I don't feel inadequate because I'm not going out every other day.
No, same. But I love the idea of being able to build with somebody and like
I like that too.
sharing, building the journey. Like we are building our dreams together. Like I'm supporting you, you're supporting me. We're doing these amazing things. And it is, it is really important to me. But I don't gauge that success off of like, well, I, went on 6 dates this week and I did like, that's not success for me. Like I said, I don't really date people unless I'm interested in you.
Have you ever gone on a date for free food?
No, I haven't.
Nah.
I haven't. I've been told like that's a thing and that I should, but here's my thing. Like if I don't like you, if I'm not interested in you,
it's not worth it.
It's not worth it. I don't have that much time.
It is not worth your time.
So first, I don't have that much time because I'm trying to hustle and do all these other things. But second, I don't ever want to lead anybody on because I don't ever want to be led on. And I don't want them to think that there's like a chance when I know that there's not. So
if you know you don't like them. But
Yeah.
I think sometimes it takes a couple of times to really be like, yeah, all right. And then from there, you're right. You're making that decision to I'm just doing this just to do something. And I feel like we value our time a little bit too much to do that.
Very much.
But so we're starting to get into it now. So talk about some of the qualities of a person that you would be attracted to date. Like, what do you look for? Do you have a type?
I don't know if I have a type per se, but I definitely, well, should we start with non-negotiables?
Sure. Sometimes it's easier to say,
Yeah, I
like,
was
if you
about
have
to
this,
say.
no. Okay, these are, these are Carlie's non-negotiables to everybody listening interested in Carlie Carpio.
Oh, God.
If you have these, do not hit her up.
Wow.
You might be blocking your blessings, but go ahead.
Anyways, I would say, well, my non-negotiables are like the opposite way, like things that you have to have.
Oh, all right.
Lex is just through with me today, guys. She's through.
What's it? Okay, but I want to know that's true. It could go either way then, huh?
Yeah.
There's another word instead of non-negotiables for what I'm trying to think about where it's like, if you have these, it's absolutely not. I want to know what those are too. But go ahead.
So the heart, and that's like how you got to get to know people. Like they have to have a good heart. What?
I'm talking about things like you're dating them. Like you, let's say you just talk to them one time and they ask you out. Well, maybe it takes a little bit more. Mm-hmm. But the heart is something that takes a while to figure out. So you're saying like that's a non-negotiable for if you're going to continue to keep going with them.
Oh, but
okay.
you mean just dating and like to
well,
go
I mean,
on a date
like,
with me?
Like they can't have kids or they have to have a certain car. They have to be at least 6 feet or I wouldn't date anybody.
I don't have any raggedy things like that. I mean, I'm not calling people who have them raggedy, but for me, like
they have a job. Like there may be some things.
Ambition. Like you have to have ambition. Like you have to have dreams.
I think those are more your preferences versus necessarily like like that's your preferences of what you're looking for, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So a forever learner, somebody who loves learning, is always trying to better themselves and work on themselves. An adventure, because my life is an adventure every single day and it looks different and it's never going to be the same. So if that's not something that is cool with you, it's probably the wrong person. I do not do controlling people. That's like I'm controlling, abusive, like any of those things. If you smoke cigarettes, that's disgusting to me. Like
so
super
is that
disgusting.
a no?
Yeah, smoking is a no.
Okay. Yeah, give me some more of those things where it's like if you have this or do this, then nah.
Smoking cigarettes is a no. Not taking care of yourself in your life. Like
what does that mean?
Like health wise, like you aren't. I'm not saying you need to be a gym rat.
So you're talking about if somebody's overweight, you wouldn't?
No, I'm not at all. What I'm saying is like they can be overweight, but working on eating right and taking care of themselves. At least going to the gym. Like I don't mind if you're bigger, but like at least if you're taking care of your health, because that's pretty much the foundation of your whole life, and that could be indicative of other things that we'll have to struggle with later on in life. And I just like to be active. If I feel like I'm competitive. And if I feel like I can, outrun you or outdo those things, like we got to be able to be competitive together and like have fun. Like that is a thing. I do like playing and exploring. What about you? I feel like if you start talking about your non-negotiables, because I feel like you have a list, it might help me jog my memory a little bit.
I think I've never had a list of like preferences or necessarily a type outside of like some of the more obvious stuff, which I'll say. But I'm trying to think, maybe in the past I might have more so been like, oh, if you have kids, like I'm not dating you. Now I would rather date somebody with kids because I'm kind of thinking about that stepmom life might be cool. So some stuff has changed over time, but definitely, but I guess that kind of makes sense too. Cause if I'm like a 22, 23-year-old, like, you know, I'm not necessarily trying to do all that, and think about that role and what that could turn into. But for me, my preferences for sure are some of the same things, like obviously ambition, adventurous, likes to travel. I never date them, but I like romantic stuff. And I think, you know, sometimes as women, sometimes we have suppressed like what we really want because we try to make it easier and like be low maintenance. And I think have been like that. And I'm realizing now that being low maintenance just means you're just settling to not get what you want to get. And so it's okay, I think, to say like, yo, I love like flowers. Because I feel like I think about sweet things. I do want somebody who like thinks about sweet things. It doesn't have to be like real extra all the time.
But just being thoughtful.
Yeah, I like thoughtfulness. And I feel like I tend to have dated a lot of guys who are like, you know how I feel. And it's like, bro, like it ain't about you. Like, or flowers die. And it's like, I like flowers. I don't know what to tell you.
People die too. Like,
you next. But that's one thing. It's like, yo, like, stop trying to, you know, act like, oh, you know, I don't need much. I don't take much. And you just don't get what you want.
Because people are too scared to ask. Because what if they say no, or what if they withdraw their love or don't want to give that to you?
I mean, that person's not for you there. Exactly. You know? So, but I think, you know, we also are pretty socialized to where, and me being from the South especially, because I can go home anytime and people I used to work with, like old friends, family members, or whatever, oh, you dating anybody yet? Or, oh, you get married? And it's like, no, but I have like 4 startups. Like, can we talk about some cool stuff? Like, that's not cool to me. And it's like, that's a thing to aspire to. Like, that's the pinnacle of somebody's success as a woman.
Like, you haven't made it yet.
Right. Like, it's not, I don't need a guy to feel like I made it. Like, that's just not a thing.
We're always reduced to our partner.
Yeah.
Or to the man that's in our lives.
Or like, even when it's 2 celebrities together and it's like, instead of saying the woman's name, it's like, oh, this person's wife or whatever.
Exactly.
And it's like, she's cooler than him.
And it always is like that. And I remember I was telling like a group of friends from back home, like all this cool stuff I was doing, like traveling, doing this like international consulting project. Like I was so excited. And they were like, okay, but tell us what we really want to know. Who are you dating? And I was just done. Like I was like, oh, I'm not.
Oh man,
I'm
really?
done. I'm done. Like I literally like
it's
can't.
Wild.
I'm like, okay, well you're like Darwinism. You're getting yourself outside of my life, like outside of these inner circles, because if you really feel like that's all you want to know, and I just told you, like, I got my LLC, like, I started my business.
Things you care about.
Yeah, and all you care about is who's in my life, like, trash.
Yeah, that's lame.
But real quick, going back to what you were saying, like, not asking for what we want, like, being afraid of those things, like, trying to be the cool girl. Like, my friend Kiara says, you know, stop trying to be the cool girl. Like, stop trying to be, like, the one who doesn't ask for anything. I remember
I had to learn to, like, let myself be the sensitive person that I actually kind of am. But I think I've actually maybe grown into that more because maybe I wasn't as much. Like I really was, like all my guy friends just talk to me like I'm a guy, and that's cool. That's fine with me. But I'm like, hey guys, I'm a girl too.
Yeah.
Or like if I'm dating somebody, like, all right, that's cool. Like we could do some hangout, cool stuff and talk like crazy. But also, you know, there is this other aspect to me as well.
Yeah, and I think that it's important, like, to be able to be vulnerable. I think that the hardest place for me to be vulnerable is in relationships. And so, like, in dealing with people, that's something I've had to work on with myself. Like, well, you can't get mad at these expectations you have for a person if you never communicate them. But you also don't know if you're on the same page. And how can you ever get what you really want and need if you don't talk to the person about it?
Yeah, that's wanting love or wanting the relationship instead of actually caring about that person and caring about yourself, honestly, too. But as far as anything that's like non-negotiable, man, I don't know if I have. I mean, besides like super crazy stuff, obviously, but I don't care if you didn't go to college. I don't care if you have a violent. I don't care if you used to rob banks. I care if you
bank robbers y'all are still in. You what?
I care about abuse.
Oh, I thought you said you don't care. I was
no,
like,
I do care about that. And So you know how we were talking about online stuff? I think it's a kind of a non-negotiable thing. If I see people talk a certain way, like if they seem to have like a stay in the kitchen type mindset, obviously that wouldn't fit with me.
No.
So that's like okay. Or like I went on a date before, not kind of recently, in the last few months, and I asked the waiter for something, and he was like, "Oh yeah, that would be good to have some more." And then I was like, "Yeah, go ask it for some." And he was like, "Oh, you wouldn't share yours?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I would, but like I asked for this because I wanted it. So like, if you want some, just like ask for some." It was weird, but then he brought up, he was like, "Oh wow, after I took you to dinner," because this was drinks. He was like, "Oh, after I took you to dinner," and my brain was like, "Ding ding," like, nah, bro. I don't do anything where people feel like you owe them something because they did something, which is why I always, when I go out with people, especially the first couple times, like, bro, here's my card. Like, I don't have time for people thinking that they did me a favor or like I owe you because you did something. So to me, that was kind of like, all right, bro, like, just if you want something, ask for something. Like, I'm definitely, of course you can have some, but it's like, well, what are you talking about? And then when you said that, I was like, nah.
Yeah, no, that's a big no. Another non-negotiable is how they treat waiters, janitors, servers.
Being
like,
rude.
ooh, if you're rude, if you do not tip well, if you feel so entitled, like entitlement is a really big thing for me. If you feel entitled to talk to people crazy, like that's indicative of how you gonna talk to me and my kids.
Yeah.
And like I used to be a server. Like I don't deal with that. People can be so rude. I do not deal with rude people. Like you should treat everybody like kindly. Like be kind.
I agree with that.
Be nice.
I agree with that. I don't care for cigarette smokers, but I don't know if I would completely cut that out as like totally non-negotiable.
I feel like they would have to stop because what you're not about to do is stay in a relationship.
Yeah, especially
if
if it's like in the crib and stuff. Nah,
that's disgusting.
Yeah, that is kind of nasty. So yeah, I guess instead of non-negotiables, like things I'm just not attracted to are those things. But what I'm attracted to is if you look good and if you're smart and you're witty and you're funny and you're ambitious and all that's like regular things.
Yeah,
It's regular things.
That's why when
like I don't have
first,
no crazy list. You don't have to be a certain height. I prefer you're like not shorter than me, but I mean I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at it, but
still shoot your shot.
Right, like I'm not mad at it. But that's the thing though. Like so again, we talked about being initially attracted, and so if I am initially kind of attracted, or if I'm not exactly initially attracted, it just takes longer to like maybe it turns into something.
Have you ever like started off not attracted to somebody, but then it grew into something?
And well, by not attracted, maybe like when I first saw them the first couple times, I wasn't like, ooh, like I really want to talk to him. But I mean, not that I thought he was ugly either, though, you know.
Yeah.
So there's definitely my whole relation. Dang, all three. Because none of my relationships ever start from just like I thought you look good, and it literally never. I always like fall for people's words and the way they speak and the conversation, honestly. So even like with my last couple of like real relationships, they all started like that. Like there was somebody like, oh, okay, you're cool. But like, I'm not sweating you. I'm not thinking about you. And then maybe I ran into you again, or like with the last one, like I had hit him up like to hang out because when I was in his city, and then we just had so much fun that I was like, oh wow. And then I started talking to them, and then I like talking to them. Yeah. So that's how that kind of goes for me. What about you?
Yeah, I was about to say probably like my last 2 real relationships were people that I just wasn't like, oh my God, like that person.
It's kind of, it's maybe real too, because it's not, you're not trying to make something happen.
And then getting to know them, like, oh man. Yeah, it's been like that.
What's your ideal like first date? Let's say it's somebody, let's say you kind of know them, but you don't really know them. Like, what would you want to do?
Oh, I'm so simple. I just like fun things. Like we could go play games like Dave and Buster's. Like we could go to the park. Like a game night. Like, I mean, there's just so many things.
You like being competitive. I do too. I always try to do like
winning.
mini golf and like
I like winning.
Stuff like that.
Difference.
Which is why I would never go bowling on a first date because I suck at bowling.
Oh, I'm not good at bowling either.
And I like art stuff too. Like I like music, museums. Like, I don't know. I just like cool stuff.
Me too. And I love food, but like I don't really want to go to a fancy dinner on the first date.
Yeah, not necessarily.
Yeah, I kind of want to get to know you.
Be more chill and like kind of fun with it.
Like casual. Like just getting to know a person. And I love food. Like I'm such a foodie. And I'm probably not the cutest eater. So food on the first date might be
How do you feel about the conversations that I've seen lately on social media around, if a guy's like, hey, come to my house, I'll cook. How do you feel about that?
I don't think I would feel comfortable for that for a first date.
And I think even bigger than not feeling comfortable is I need for you as a guy to understand that doesn't sound like a good idea for a woman. A good idea,
yeah. And like first of all, if I don't really know you, I'm going to your house, so that's weird.
Or even coming to my house, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely not. You don't even know where I live.
Yeah,
like that's the thing. But you have to be safe. Like you have to stay safe, and also, like you were talking about earlier, I don't want you to feel like I owe you anything. And me being in your intimate space, like that doesn't mean you're entitled to anything or that I'm willing to give up anything for being here.
Yeah, and so how do you feel then about a lot of guys who will be like, well, I don't want to spend a lot of money because I don't know if I like you yet. Like, what is your
Well, we can split it. Like, we can split a date and we can do something cheap.
Or it's like we could do something, exactly.
Or something free. We ain't got no bread. Let's go to the park.
I think guys who try to make those arguments are already kind of trash because it's like, bro, it's not that serious. Like, we could go for a walk if you're trying to just do some chill shit.
We could literally go for a walk. Like, and especially if I'm trying to buy my own
just
stuff.
say you don't have money. Just say like, that's cool. Look, I don't either. We cool.
Yeah,
like,
no, we ain't got no bread. We good.
I'll bring the ramen. You bring the extra seasonings, dog.
Anthony Hamilton. Like, if you cool, I'm cool. We cool.
Right.
It's good.
Yeah, I think a lot of that is like projections and like insecurities in guys, and it's like, if you have to worry that much about it, like just maybe dating's not like what you need to focus on right now.
Yeah, and if that's the first thing that comes to your head, then
these girls just want your money. Those are the same guys who are always like the main one trying to do the most with their money. Either. Yeah.
Like, get the little check and be flossing on Instagram and then don't have no more money after that.
Right. Like, ain't nobody looking for you right now. Like, you're good. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I like the $300 dates or whatever the nonsense was on Twitter.
Oh, I have one of those stories, though.
Wait, were you in on $300?
I got conned out of a $200 date.
What? The finesse.
Yeah, it was bad. I said, I vow never again. I got finessed. Like, finessed. No. But that's actually not the worst dating experience that I wanted to talk about. Well, I think people know about that. Well, maybe they don't, because that was back when I lived in DC. I tweeted about it one time. Just go on Twitter and type in like $200, like the number, and Lex_Topia, and you'll probably see it.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go Google it. 'Cause I'm like, I don't even know about that.
Because the short version. Nah, yeah, just go look it up. I got finessed. I got asked out, and then they got like 10 courses, like 5 drinks, and I pulled my card out, and that's why I was like, I'll never do that again. I pulled my card out first, and then they were just like looking around, and I was like, no, the fuck, they're not. Like in my brain, my brain the whole time was like, nah, they're not gonna do it. And grab for stuff. Okay, they're not gonna go in and pull out the card, and they took that card, and I said, bet.
What?
I was like, they better be glad I had just got a check like the day before, because I was like super freelancing back then. I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay.
I was just like, oh, okay. But it was weird because also they had a significant other who I didn't know about, who was abroad in the military. So I was like, God. During the whole time, I'm like, oh, you're trash. Like, what is this going on?
Old people hella trash.
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird. And then going back to the crib afterwards, like, oh, you gonna stay? I was like, nah. I was like, I gotta go. I'm so upset. Ooh. But after the dinner, we had went to see, I forgot who was performing, some like little performance in like a little chill spot. Mm-hmm. So I was like, yo, I'm definitely not doing anything else. And they had got like the bottle or some like wine or something like that. But still, I was like, nah. Because I'm trying to order cute. Like, if I go out, I'm only going to order some stuff I know I can pay for,
100.
And it was super expensive place. And so I got, like, a couple courses, like, a couple things. Like, they literally was like, appetizer, this, dinner, dessert, dessert wine, dinner wine. And I was like, oh, okay. But I was like, let me just keep it chill, keep it cute. And then I paid for the whole thing. The next morning, I looked at my thing like...
If you listening, you real raggedy. I'm just saying.
They not listening.
But if they were, they just real raggedy.
And had the audacity to hit me up later again. And I was like, bro, don't ever fucking hit me again. That was probably my worst. Just because it was like, yo, are you serious? Like, to me, that's just not having home training. But whatever. Yeah. What's your worst dating experience? I have a couple more, but I mean, that one's kind of bad.
That is bad. I about to say, I don't.
You invited me out. Like, yeah. You were like, yo, let's spend some time together. That's what got me. Because it's like, it'd be different if I was like, yo, you trying to hang out? Or if it was anything like us doing this together, but it wasn't. They chose the place.
That's see no. Oh no, he was trying to finesse from the jump.
They chose the place, everything.
Man.
Go ahead. What's your worst dating experience?
I don't really have because I don't casually date. Really.
What does that mean?
So
like going out to real places?
Well, no. I mean casually dating like in the sense I guess I do to get to know people, but I don't just go on dates, like random dates with people. It's usually like after
like you know them enough?
Yeah.
How do you know them though?
Different things, like met like them through some friends and then ended up going on dates.
Okay, so you'd already kind of hung out with them before.
Yeah, I already hung out. So it's nothing like new like that.
Yeah, this person I hung out with before too, but I was like, whoa, but not one-on-one. So, like, for example, another one of mine, you're right, because most of the time I don't go out people, like, super just, all right, here's the first, let's go out, and I don't know anything about you. But, like, another one, for example, is with a guy who, he works in investing, and it's like a VC or something, and somebody connected us from a Black Tech meetup, and it was during the daytime, so we were meeting to literally, like, talk about work stuff, and, you know, we were writing, first of all, just for this work meeting, he pulled up in this like crazy car, which he rents. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, why do you do that? Thing. Yeah, he rents the car, which is fine. Like he just rents for the day because he doesn't own a car. Mm-hmm. But then he was like, oh, I don't have my wallet. So I was going to tell you like, yo, do you want to go somewhere else? Because I can't even pay for the meter. I'm like, oh, this is cool. I got it. So I did his meter. Mm-hmm. I got this little stuff, but he didn't get nothing crazy. So I was like, cool. And again, it was like a little coffee and like snack thing doing work. He helped me do some work stuff. We were talking about business. Cool. I'm so sorry, like, since I forgot my wallet, like, please let me just take you out, again, and, like, just, whatever. Yeah. And I kind of knew, like, I knew better. I knew better, but I was like, all right, like, so he took me to some sushi spot maybe a couple days later. This is, like, a nighttime, so now it's, like, more of, like, a date. To me, I'm trying to convince myself, like, it's not really a date, because I wasn't interested in him. Yeah. But I knew better. I knew better, and I shouldn't have did it. But as soon as we sat down, he started hitting me with the craziest, like, straight up questions. Like, so how clean are you? Do you have roommates? Do you do this? I don't like this. What about this? What about that? And I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, first of all, I don't even like you. And I remember him asking me too. He's like, do you think you could get me? And I'm like, yes, but I don't want you. Like at this point, I was just kind of disgusted. Like, bro, like can we just talk regular? It's like he was trying to speed through to be like,
is this like a speed dating round?
Yeah, like he's trying to be like, okay, no or yes to me. And I'm like, first of all, I'm not interested in you. Like, this is not why I'm here. And it was just really weird. I remember tweeting through that too, by the way. I went to the bathroom at some point to like text, because I was actually talking to another guy this time. I remember going to the bathroom just to get these tweets out. I was like, y'all, this man is like wilding me out right now. And everybody was like, you better hope you don't have Twitter. And I was like, no, you don't. But that was weird too. So like being too extra it's weird to me. Like just chill. But I get that you want to know those things maybe, but I was just turned all the way off. Like, sir, this is not that. And then I was trying to get out of there quick. Like he was trying to like get dessert and do all this stuff. I was like, yeah, I gotta go. Like, yuck. It's like I'd already called my Uber. Yeah. He was like, well, what about? I was like, yeah, he 2 minutes away, bro. I was like, I gotta go.
That's all bad. Like,
yeah, it was weird.
And giving you like waterboarding, like third degree on.
He asked me how clean I am.
Like, I was about to say how clean you are.
Like he was talking to me as if I was the one who like tried to get to him or something. And I'm
Can
like,
you get me?
Right. He asked it. He's like, you think you could get me? And I was like, yeah. I feel like I can get anybody. I don't feel like anybody's out of my league. No. How do you feel about that?
Nobody's out of anybody's league.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that I even see people talk about. I'm like, all right.
Yeah,
I'm like, they're not that cool.
Well, why do people feel like, I don't know. I think that's interesting, like stay in your league. What is your league?
I think it financially can make sense. For example, well, I don't know, maybe it's different as a woman too. And maybe it shouldn't be, but I feel like I could be broke and probably still but I'm not that kind of person. Like I'm still out here hustling and like moving and stuff. So it's still not like I don't feel like anybody's out of my league. As a guy, perhaps it's like, yeah, I don't think Rihanna would date me. I get it. I think Rihanna would date me.
Yeah, I think she would too.
Well, I think she'd get bored though, because she's even more crazier than.
I was about to say, yeah, date, like hang,
yeah,
spend some time with you.
I think she'd like hang out with me.
Yeah.
It's on my to-do list, honestly. Like
Rihanna's on your to-do list. No pause. All right. And I was sitting here thinking about my worst date experiences, But because I was probably like in a relationship or working towards them, they're not like that. They're just like awful date experiences, like from
like
random things
raining
happening
when we were walking.
Well,
he didn't put his coat down over the puddle.
My life is not
Carlie,
like that.
Let's get some action going.
No, so this is back in high school. My high school sweetheart. It's just hilarious. So we were walking around in downtown Oklahoma City back in high school. I was a junior. He was a senior, and I forgot. It was during the winter because it was cold, and I felt like I had stepped in something. And I went to wipe off my shoe, and it was like horse stuff all over my shoe because they have the horse-drawn carriages downtown. That's
man.
really, and I was like embarrassed, but I was like, I need to wash my hands. And then he went to grab my hand, and I was like, oh, like it was just like the worst. Like it was the worst thing. He's like, "What's wrong with you?" I was like, "Nothing." Like trying to like wipe my hand in the bushes. And I was like, "I need to go." I know, but I was so embarrassed back then. But then I went to go wash them. I was like, "Oh, I need to go use the restroom so I could wash my hands." It's stuff like that when I'm thinking. I started laughing when you were telling, not because that dude was terrible, which he was, but on another date, we had went to like one of the little bounce houses.
That was a woman, by the way.
Really?
That's probably why it was like that.
Oh, well, she was so.
The one who didn't want to pay? Which one are we talking about? The VC guy?
Yeah.
That was a guy. The first one was actually a woman, which was interesting. Because when she was like, oh, let's just hang out. So I wasn't really even sure what's going on. But at the dinner, she was like, let's talk about us. And that's I was like, oh, I was just like, what is even happening?
Yeah, wait.
It was so weird. Yeah, see, you got to search on Twitter, $200, Lextopia.
Lex_Topia.
You'll see the story.
The other one was we went to a bounce house. And these are just the two off my top of my head. And I did not complete my little jump thing and almost died. Like it's like one of those.
So you just embarrassing. She just a dork on her dates. That's her problem. That's cute though.
No, it's not.
That's cute.
I thought I was gonna die, but I didn't. Praise God.
Yeah, I can't think of any embarrassing stories like that.
Mine are just
embarrassing. Like people being weird or feeling. I feel like there's a couple where I felt like I was in danger actually, and I think I've blocked them out. Like I know there's something where I've been with somebody. I mean, besides that stalker, I kind of think we alluded to my stalker before, but like that was a lunch meeting and then they found out everything about my life and it was weird and I had to get a restraining order and stuff. So, I mean, I think that guys especially just have to be careful about how you're, like, it's cool to be interested, but like you have to understand why, like a lot of times I'm just going to be an asshole until I can tell you're like legit. Like it's hard. And it's not that like, oh, she's a bitch or she's trying to be rude. But like I literally with anybody, like I have to kind of be rude to then get to like, all right, you're normal, which is, it just sucks. And so it's a lot more stuff that women I think have to deal with and think about like with our lives in danger and stuff like that when it comes to dating. Like I'm not going to your house. Like I don't want to meet you anywhere within a certain radius, but I need to have enough radius where I know somebody who lives there I can get back. Like I need to have a friend who knows where I'm at. Like I think a lot of guys don't think about that stuff, but that's stuff that we have to do because there's literally a zillion things that have happened to probably most women that you know.
Literally, like the Me Too stuff is so real. And actually out here, because I be trying to help everybody and connect people, and I work with a nonprofit that does social and emotional learning through music. And I met this dude out here who like tried to talk to me actually at a taco stand, but I was like, well, I'm not really interested in that. I was like, but you're a rapper. Like if you're working out here, like I know a nonprofit I can connect you to. Man, after that, we had coffee just to talk about the nonprofit. And I'm like selling the nonprofit. And apparently he was just trying to holla. And then he started threatening me and was like, I know what your car looks like. You tried to play me. Don't nobody play me. He was calling me entitlement. A bitch. He was calling me all of these things and then threatening my life. And I was just like, yo, like I just had coffee with you to talk to you about a nonprofit. Yeah. And that's why I was like, damn, like I have to be more careful about like those type of things. Because in my head, I'm like, oh, I'm just talking about a nonprofit. Yep. And now he's on my phone threatening my life. Yep. And I'm like, what? Yep.
Or guys, if I'm walking, because I walk everywhere, and their car swings a U-turn, it's like, bro, think about how crazy that looks. Like somebody pulling their car up on you real quick, like all the time when I'm walking. And it's like, don't do that. Like that's scary. Like I've had to call people to be like, if somebody's even walking behind me and walking too fast or too close, and I'll call somebody, be like, yeah, somebody, and they feel like they're speeding up on me, or like if they're talking to me, like it's just. Be aware of those types of things and like that's creepy. And to a point of what you were just saying too, being in business, one of my biggest pet peeves, don't you ever try to disguise you trying to get to know me as some work shit, period. That's the biggest waste of my time, and that's so offensive to me. Like, if you're trying to talk to me, like, be clear about that. Don't hit me with some, oh, let's meet and let's talk about, business, or let's talk about this. So now I have to have a whole thing where, let's say if it's a message from social media, cool. Here's my email. Send me an email. What are you talking about? So if they don't even email me, I'm like, whatever. If they email me, I'm like, all right, cool. Like, what's the agenda? What do you, like, literally tell me your agenda of what you're trying to talk about. Like, what's the specifics?
Yeah.
Because we can have a call. You know what I mean? Like, and so a lot of times and it's, again, it sucks to have to do that, but it's been so many times, just like how you said, you meet up with people. Oh, this ain't what you was trying to do. Never mind. You're wasting my time. And then you literally have no chance after that period anyway.
I know. And for mine, I'm like, I was literally talking about helping kids and you said you're interested and now you trying to holler at me and then threatening me. Like, come on, bro.
You don't go from talking about helping the kids to threatening my life, dog.
Like, people got to do better.
It's bad out here. But let's finish out our conversation on dating by talking about timelines. Do you feel like, by this time we should be, sexually active, by this time we should do this, by this time we should be boyfriend and girlfriend? Like, how do you feel about or even exclusivity? Like, do you date multiple people at a time, and then, like, what is your timeline for what that should look like?
I don't have a timeline. I feel like just like our friendship, we couldn't have imagined like doing this together and starting all these things so soon. And I think that whenever you try to put people into a box and relationships into a box, you kind of like stop their growth. Like you need to let things just go out organically. Now I understand like being in a situationship for 10 years might not be in alignment. Exactly. So what's going on?
But you know what? I've learned too, anytime you have to ask, like, so, like, that's your answer. Like, people are showing you your answer. So to say like, yo, so what are we doing? Or do you have any intent? Okay, cool. But I feel like you kind of know that they don't, if you're just chilling for 10 years.
Yeah, and you can't, exactly. But you also like have to ask for what you want and be upfront in the relationship. I feel like that helps a lot too. Like, hey, I'm interested and, I do want to get married and I want to have kids and a family. And so if that's not in your goals, then we probably aren't aligned in a relationship. And so
making sure you have your boundaries
exactly.
set.
And being very clear about them and asking, like we talked about, asking for what we need, and being able to walk away from the table when you're not being fed. Like when they're not giving you what you need or what you want, or it's not even there, don't stay around hoping that maybe one day it'll happen.
Yep.
Like that's, I think, one of the biggest things.
And don't fall trapped to, well, we've been doing this so long, something's going to change, because it probably
diminishing returns, bro.
Yeah.
It's like the cycle of diminishing returns.
That's definitely a thing too, to where we feel like we've invested so much time, like I can't turn away now. Nah, you're just wasting time. So turn away. How do you feel about dating multiple people at the same time?
I don't. I think whatever works for people works for them. But for me personally, like I just can't. I don't have that much time. Like I really don't in my day.
What's the difference in time between you going out a couple times a week, whether it's the same person or two different people?
It's not. But if I feel like I only date people I'm trying to build something with. And so if I'm trying to build something with somebody, I'm not necessarily investing that time in anything else. Okay. Because I have other things that I'm doing, like my businesses, like my friends, passion projects. It's a lot. And I have a lot of friends, like I don't have a lot of friends, but I have friends that I'm pouring a lot into and working a lot with. And so whenever I am dating someone, it's because, I care about them and I see something.
But dating, like getting to know them. So for me, like I get that when if I'm at a point with dating somebody where I really like them, then everybody else or anybody kind of just falls off the radar anyway. But if it's, I just met these few people maybe a few weeks ago and was like, all right, yeah, let's go out to eat or whatever. Like I have no problem, talking, like having conversations with a few different people or going out with a few different people.
Yeah.
And I think that just kind of, like I said, naturally narrows down. Or after a while, maybe with one of them, I'm like, like I don't really like you like that, so I'm not gonna waste my time anymore. But I don't have any problem. I think it's better actually, because then you never are like super pressed about somebody. And then, because also that person can be doing whatever they want too. If we're talking about dating before we're like getting to a point of talking about exclusivity. So I think it's kind of a good way to stay grounded, to have multiple people that you can reach out to or talk to or hang out with or get to know at the same time. Yeah,
and get to know, and not, somebody put it like not having all your eggs in one basket whenever you're not sure if that's even the basket that you want. I mean, I've heard it, both ways. How do you feel about, because we're talking about, dating multiple people, like having a team, like having certain people in your life for certain things, like.
Oh, that's what it means by team? Like each person's kind of their own little section, their own thing. I think that's kind of whack because just because I prefer, again, literally, if I've done that, it's just because I'm bored and I'm really not interested in none of y'all, like for real. And so that's just me being selfish. And when I feel like talking to you, I might talk to you. Like there's definitely some people I know that I can hit up any random time after however long and like they'll respond. But that's just me being super bored. And they should have better boundaries for themselves. Aww. But if they don't care, then I don't care.
Yeah. That's real.
Hurt people. No, it's funny because things that people have done to me, like I'll do the same thing to other people. So I'm like, all right, I get it. But not if I actually liked you. Like if I really express liking you and I'm really into you and you do those things to me, then I'm like, all right, so. Yeah. But yeah, I really look for kind of more of a full package because like I said, I want to talk to this person about all these different things. I want to be able to hang out with you and do all the things like with that person instead of pieces here and there because that kind of gets boring to me, I think.
Yeah, and it's like you can't make a smoothie out of people, right? Like your protein, your fruit, the water, like you can't do that.
It's just,
I mean, you can.
That's not really fulfilling.
But that's for me. I'm like, I can't imagine it being fulfilling, but I also don't have enough time for people's feelings and things like that. Like if I care about you, I'm working on this thing.
Yeah, but there's levels to caring. Like there may be somebody who I enjoy doing certain things with, and then maybe I call them when I want to do that, like go hiking or do whatever or spend the day doing something. And I mean, I think that's fine, but I don't know. I tend to if I can't have full convo with the person, like this isn't gonna do anything. So that's how that goes for me. So overall, like, how do you feel about just dating? Are you pessimistic or optimistic looking for it? I see a lot of people who complain like, man, guys ain't shit now or this or that and it's hard because of online. But for me, I feel like it's always been the same. Like it's just different challenges, but it's always been the same.
Same. I think it's always been like this. Everybody's like, oh, it's so different now because of these things. And granted, like back in the gap, like our great grandparents probably couldn't date someone in a different country unless they were doing like letters and
but they also could have another family 30 minutes away.
And a lot of them did.
So it's like
a lot of them did.
All right.
But yeah, I think it is what you want it to be. And so if you think everybody ain't shit, then they're not gonna be shit. And maybe you should reevaluate, yourself and the type of people that you're letting in your life.
I
and
agree
boundaries.
with that.
But yeah, so I'm optimistic. Like I think it'll turn out exactly how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I'm optimistic. I think right now I'm at a point where it's like I do feel like something's missing, and then I'm not sure if that's bad or good because you know how everybody's like you should feel the love from yourself, and be whole before blah blah blah. Which I get that, but at the same time too, it's like I like having somebody I can like talk to about stuff, and also can cuddle with you after we talk about it. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and I get excited.
I do feel like I do want that now.
Yeah, and I get excited about stuff. I want to tell somebody and share that with you, and I want to celebrate your wins and doing those things, and I do that with all my friends. But also in a romantic sense, like that makes me excited. Like the thought of having a life partner, like a purpose mate, like that. Right. That's exciting to me.
But I'm also not gonna force it. So I mean, when I don't see it, I don't see it. So I'm trying to be more open to like we said at the beginning, people I may not initially be super attracted to, but all right, this is like a good person. But then, people always say like, oh, y'all don't like nice guys. And like, it's not that. It's just that you're boring. Like, yeah, it's other things like that are part of that. Like, I like people who are nice. I'm not looking for somebody who beats me. I don't have daddy issues or whatever the hell. Like, that's not it. But you're just boring, dog. Like, or we don't have convo, or I can tell you, oh, this is my favorite song. And as soon as we get in the car, that's what you're going to play. And it's like, you're catering to me too much, or I'm not seeing who you are, or whatever it is. It's always something else. It's not because you're too nice.
Never just because you're too nice. Like,
no.
that's not the thing.
Be
but
a
if
nice guy.
But letting people walk all over you is not nice either. That's a difference. But yeah, it's never that. But I do look forward to having those things.
Yeah, I wish I could kind of just skip the dating. I just like the talking. I guess you got to hang out to really kind of see how they are around people and stuff. But I just hate starting with the dating. It's just whack. But I'm open.
She's open, y'all. Lex_Topia.
Wow.
Not. Oh my God.
I'm open to it. This week I want to shout out a couple of my friends who are authors now. So I actually have the book right here. I'm like gonna get into my talk show host. This one is called Honestly, Hurting and Healing in Love by my friend Brianna Clearly. Her
Shout
website.
out Brianna.
Yeah, her website is Brianna, BrianaClearly.com. And she does a lot of photography. She does film. And she also wrote this book, and it's poetry, and it's really cool. At the time she sent it to me, well, she didn't send it to me. I bought it because I support my friends with businesses. But when it came in, I started reading it, and I was like, I'm a little too hurt right now because I was fresh off of something. I was like, I'm a little too hurt to read this, but I'm going to come back to it. But it's actually pretty good. It's pretty real. So definitely support. Check this out. Also, my friend Mikkel, who's in D.C., Mikkel Clark, he just finished writing a book, and I think it's pre-order now. I bought one of those too. I haven't got it yet. But it's called Keep It 100, and I think it's daily affirmations. But he's just like cool as hell in the way he writes. I'm sure they're going to be like really funny and cool. His site is Mikkel C. Clark, MICHELLC Clark, not Michelle, Mikkel. And I think his at name is Mikkel C. Clark too. So those are two friends, and I really admire anybody who can write a book because I have so many ideas, and I literally have like 6 book drafts. It's one of those things like I just taught myself out of like really sitting down and figuring out how to just write, and I want to do it at some point. So
yeah, I definitely want to write my own book, and excited for yours too. But I wrote a chapter in one, and that was going through that. I was like, ooh, now I'm gonna have to do this for a whole book. It's like a whole process.
it's a lot.
Yeah. It's a whole process. Before we get to the question of the week, shout us out. We saw that we have some listeners. Where were they?
Yeah. So we see people visiting like our site and listening on or watching on YouTube, all of those things from places in Germany, Italy. Shout out my Italians out here. South Africa, China.
Yeah, shout out Shenzhen. We see you.
It was a lot of different places, so that's really cool, and we appreciate all the reviews we've been getting, and because they're so thoughtful. It's not like, oh, you guys are cute and cool. They're like, yeah, this really helped me get through something, or telling us that you appreciate like the unique takes that we have on things. So really, really appreciate that. We want to continue to ask you to leave us 5 stars, even better, leave a review so we can get some ranking on iTunes. But we see all the comments and everything, so we really appreciate that.
We do, and we send out a weekly newsletter, so also sign up for our list on the website, and we'll be including some resources, and some stuff from the Success Squad, all that. So get excited, and Lex,
get hyped.
Hit them with the question of the week.
This week's question, #Carlie's Couch, is, what are you getting in return for the time you spend so freely?
What are you getting in return for the time you spend so freely? I would say I spend a lot of my free time learning. And so some learning and some life experiences, because you have to have fun. Like on this, anything when you're working and hustling, like that whole team no sleep, team work 24/7 is not me. Like I need to have fun and learn and spend time with friends and family. Like some of these LA outings have been with friends and friends who are family. So yeah, just getting some life experience and learning a lot, enjoying my time and resting, learning how to rest.
That's good. I would say what I get out of the time I spend freely would be kind of the same. A time to actually not let my brain be in overdrive. A time to just like enjoy some entertainment, like watch Netflix, chill.
Netflix and
recentering kind of thing. Yeah, I like dates like that actually too. After I know you a little bit. Yeah, so I think what I get in return is some chill time and relaxation time. And I think it's okay because we're always going. It's okay just like, I'm just going to watch Rick and Morty. I'm just going to watch this or just chill, read, whatever. Yeah. Where it's not about work. It's not about reading some self-help stuff. It's just, let me just chill.
It's okay to just be sometimes.
And not feel guilty about it. Just relax.
Yeah, you're good and you're recharging. You can't pour from an empty cup.
Can't pour from an empty cup. So that being said, guys, hit us up with your dating, well, I don't know if you want to like pour out your dating stories necessarily, but what your thoughts are about dating. Like, is it easy? Is it hard? Do you think people are in your league, out of your league? Like whatever it is that we talked about, feel free to hit us with your comments. And don't hit me and say less build or less work. Because I'm going to be like, no.
Nah. And don't come with business opportunities that aren't actual business opportunities.
Please.
Lessons learned. So share your lessons, stories, thoughts, comments, screenshot it, hashtag Carlie's Couch, at Lex_Topia, at CC Fierce. We love to hear from you.
Peace. Now my peace signs have tacos on them.
Where's the taco?
Wait. Wait, sorry guys, this is my middle finger. I don't want to flick you off though.
She should though, because it has a taco.
You'll see him in a picture somewhere soon.
Okay.
It'd be all right. Hopefully the man of my dreams loves tacos. I know they do actually.
They have to.
Non-negotiables.
That's a non-negotiable. Gotta love tacos.